You know, some words we use so often, we just stop seeing them. They become invisible. Today, we're going to pull one of those words out of the shadows. Together. And believe it or not, this one little word has a pretty amazing story to tell about language itself.
Seriously? How much can you really learn from a single word? Well, it turns out a whole lot. This word points to a massive idea about communication, something most of us have probably never even thought about. So, yeah, let's find out. Let's see what's really going on here.
All right, so first things first. We have to start with the basics, right? Before we get into the whole hidden story, let's just look at the definition you'd find in any old dictionary. What does together actually mean?
So, on the surface, it's pretty simple. It's a preposition, and it can mean, things are physically close to each other. Or it can mean you're putting pieces of something, well, together, into one thing. Easy enough, right? Seems pretty cut and dry.
But here's where it gets interesting. As I was digging into the source for this, I found this tiny, almost throwaway line in the dictionary entry. And it was this little clue that just blew the whole thing wide open.
And there it is, right there. Together is on the Basic English 850 list. I mean, what does that even mean? This one sentence just sends us down a whole new rabbit hole. And of course, that immediately makes you ask, okay, 1, what in the world is the Basic English 850 list? And 2, out of the hundreds of thousands of words in the English language, why this one? Why together? To figure that out, we have to look at what makes this list so unique. Because this isn't just some random list of words somebody threw together. No, it was a seriously engineered system for communication. The number is the key. Just 850 words. Now, to put that into perspective for you, the average person who speaks English knows tens of thousands of words. So trying to build a whole functional language with only 850, that was an incredibly deliberate, super focused choice. So this whole project was called Basic English. It was created way back in the 1930s by a linguist named Charles K. Ogden. And his goal was, well, it was huge. He wanted to create this simplified version of English with this tiny core vocabulary that could be used for everything. International business, science, maybe even promoting peace, a universal tool for understanding.
Okay, so that brings us back to our word. Why together? Why did it make the final cut for this super exclusive list? To get that, we need to see just how much of a workhorse this one little word really is.
And this is where it gets really cool. We already know it works as a preposition, right? For physical stuff and for abstract ideas, but it also has this other life as an adjective, that slangy way we use it to describe a person. Okay, check this out. This is the first example, straight from the source. I put all the books about food together on one shelf. This is the most basic meaning, right? Just moving stuff close to each other.
But now look at this one. He put together a meeting. We're still using it as a preposition, but the meaning has totally shifted. You can't physically move a meeting. Here, put together is all about organizing, assembling something that isn't even a physical thing.
And then there's this, which I think is just brilliant. I really admire how together she is. Now it's not even a preposition anymore. It's an adjective. It's slang. Being together is about your state of mind. Being organized, focused, calm. It's about a person's inner world.
So, okay, we've seen how flexible this word is. It can do a lot of heavy lifting. But so what? Why did that versatility, that sheer power, matter so much to the folks who created the Basic English list?
Well, it really all boils down to this. You have one single word, and it can describe physical space, the creation of an event, and even someone's personality. This is exactly what the Basic English 850 list was all about, finding the words that could pack the most punch, the most meaning, into the smallest possible package.
And this is the absolute key takeaway. Basic English was never about dumbing down the language. Not at all. It was about making it incredibly efficient. A word like together is a powerhouse. It does the job of a dozen other words, letting you build really complex ideas from simple parts. It's the ultimate communication tool. Which brings us to our final thought. And forgive me for this, but it's time to put it all together. The word itself is actually the perfect metaphor for this entire project. No, seriously, think about it. The whole job of the word together is to bring things into one place, to assemble a whole. And what's the whole point of the Basic English list? To give people simple building blocks, to put ideas together. This right here is the whole philosophy.
You start with a small set of really powerful, simple words. You use their flexibility to combine them in all these cool new ways. And from just that, you can build incredibly complex thoughts. And most importantly, you create a bridge of understanding between people. You're literally putting language together.
So, yeah, the next time you hear a simple, everyday word like together, maybe you'll remember the hidden power packed inside it. And it kind of leaves us with this big question to chew on, right? What if the real key to communicating better isn't learning more words, but learning to master the right ones?